Hey guys, and welcome back to Untier Talk, the podcast that's just all about everyone's mostest favoritist tier and game. I am, of course, talking about Pokemon. Sorry, I'm actually gonna. You know what, Hajed? Why don't you just talk? Because I'm watching Smash out of the corner. I'm very professional.
Hi, we're very organized and famous YouTube sensation.
Yeah,
Untier Talk.
I think sensation's the right word for us.
Yeah,
because you really get a feeling that we have no idea what we're doing.
Yep, and we're here today to talk more about the best tier in the history of existence, the partially used tier.
Mm-hmm. You know it's good because someone brought mono normal to a tour.
Oh yeah, no, that's 100%. That is 100%.
Didn't Caste actually win? Didn't Caste win an SPO with mono normal?
I can't remember if it was mono normal.
I think he brought multiple monotypes, and he won with mono normal and a different mono also. I don't remember.
I believe he beat Soul Gazer in SPL finals a few years ago with mono ice.
Yeah, something like that.
He beat Jari the next year with mono grass, I believe.
Huh? Maybe he never did normal. I don't know. Anyway,
it wouldn't surprise me.
Like I said, we're recording this at 8 p.m. Sunday my time, which means Frostbite top 8 is going on. I'm a huge Smash fan, so I'm going to try to not be too distracted. But okay. Did we never even tried to get a guest for this one, did we? Oh well. I'm sure we're fine.
Yeah, I've hated all the guests anyway, so shout out all the guests.
Holy shit. That's a mean thing to say. Okay. We got Exhibition Week 7. It's the last week that we're going to be going over 8 games, and there aren't even 8 games because there was an activity call. But yeah, one more week of all these replays. First one is TCR versus Exaline. Exaline does not care. He's just completely messing around, but he's in PU because their team needs to put someone in PU, and he just brought a sample team.
Yeah.
That fucking sucks.
It's a decent sample team.
It's a good sample team, but see, he's still I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to bring a sample team. And TCR brought Rain. Just your very standard basic Rain team. Not the only Rain team I've seen. I actually faced Rain earlier today in PU seeded, and that was a different looking team from Lockjaw. But just some Rain stuff. And he kind of just won. I don't even think he played Rain very well at all. He kind of played bad, but he just won because Rain had a good matchup, and that was all there was.
There was one point where he sacked Kabu and then went into Quillfish and then almost sacked Quillfish as well.
Yeah,
and I was fearing for him, but Quillfish at 10% is the same as Quillfish at 100% pretty much. So at that point, it really didn't matter.
In terms of being able to Rain the sweep anyway, because there was no priority on the other team.
Yeah, exactly. And I have the feeling that X-Line was just clicking as well at a certain point, so he wasn't really paying too much attention. He thought he just lost the game when he really hadn't at a certain point. So nothing really to communicate on that game, to be honest. It's just Rain beats team that's going to Rain.
I should have said straight up, a lot of these replays are just not great. What we're seeing is really, unfortunately, a lot of players in who kind of just fucked around, because the teams that are out mostly didn't really try all that hard, and the teams that are in playoffs subbed out their good PU players to just give other people a chance and give their PU players a break, and now those good PU players are back in for playoffs. But this week, there was just a real lack of games across multiple tiers, but PU in particular, I think.
It's basically, there's not much to say on any of the games, pretty much. Apart from a few of them are okay, but...
Well, there's only 7 games, and not much to say on any of them, apart from a few of them. From 7 games, a few games is still a decent portion. Anyway, point is, we're still going to go over these replays, but they might be kind of short. Anyway, moving on. Rexus versus Pills.
Hold on. You didn't tell me that I could move on. I hadn't even got the replay up yet. Give me a second.
Wait, it's the Rain. It's the Rain just winning versus Sample. What do you need?
Yeah, no, but you didn't tell me that you were moving on. Okay, I have the replay up now.
Okay, Rex. I linked you all the replay. Okay, Rexus versus Pills. Pills is actually the second person to bring Regis Laurentis balance. Like, if you remember, Passion brought something a little bit similar last week.
It's not just similar. I think this is the exact same team.
Actually, yeah, just thinking about it, this looks... Hang on, let me go search replays.
It's... Okay, so...
No, I can't search replays because I don't know what alt Passion played under. So let me go to week 6.
The main difference is that he has a Mudsdale over the Regirock, and there's a Pom-Pom over the Swanna. So there's a bit of like a...
You're right, but it's very, very similar. It's 4-mon similar. Regis Laurentis, Alolan Raichu Primeape, and then just different bird, different fat rocker.
Basically, Pills he feared the Aggron for whatever reason. So he feared the Aggron or like rock types in general. So like your rocks and stuff.
It's fair, but at the same time, this version definitely weaker to Stoutland. It's kind of just, what are you more 100%. Afraid of, Stoutland or Aggron? I would honestly be more afraid of Stoutland, so I don't agree with this.
Yeah, 100% same. Exactly the same idea with me as well. So I think this team's a bit worse, to be honest.
But not significantly so. And like, there's definitely room to outplay a Stoutland. I just think there's more room to outplay an Aggron with the other team. Especially if it's Drain Punch Regirock, would definitely help with that. Which I don't know. I don't know if it was.
I also don't know if many passed this team, or this is just like a copycat style situation.
I have no idea. I don't know what Manny's doing. He's 0-4, got subbed out. Like, who knows what his situation is
maybe.
With playing PU at the moment. Rexus brought a weird team. It's like a really slow team. It's got a Caracosta, Andalon, Alolan Raticate, and the what's Silvally? Yeah, Silvally Ghost. Which is not a common Silvally, but he wanted a spin blocker for his spikes, I guess. Just like, really, I don't know. I've liked most of what Rexus has brought. I think for someone like who hasn't played PU, just getting into it, I think he's picked it up real nice. This team, I do not understand.
For me, I think this team is just a bit weird. I don't know if it's Scarf Alolan Raticate. It would make sense on this team, given that it just clicked Pursuit as well.
I assumed it was, but I never actually ran Calcs. So let me just go... like, my assumption when I watched the replay was it was Scarf, but...
Yeah,
okay.
it is.
It is?
Scarf. Pursuit trapped Raichu.
Okay, yeah. So even then, though, still, like, a really slow team. He's got Jet Caracosta and Mach Girder, but... Omastar in particular is something I'd definitely be pretty scared of, because Mach Girder is not like always going to be reliable if they're Chople or White Herb.
I think he's fine. I think he's fine in general because he has the Rose, and generally his team pressures it a decent amount. So I wouldn't be too fearful of Omastar.
Actually, no, you're right. It can't set up on anything.
Yeah.
Actually, like, for a slow team, at least have good, the best Lilligant stop. Omastar's not really setting up. Hail's not really so bad. So it's more like the random speed boosting things that would be scary. Like, honestly, like, Simisear. I guess Pinsir if you really weaken the Girder, but no one uses Pinsir.
Nah, you're not going to count Pinsir. Nah, you can't count Pinsir.
No, like this team is as prepared for a Pinsir, really. I don't know. I just can't think of big speed boosting things off the top of my head.
Potentially Dodrio, if you're thinking about a quick attack set and just knocking the Raticate into quick attack range. That can be really scary.
Yeah, actually. This is probably the weakest the team can get to Dodrio. It has no helmets, it has no aftermath, it has no rock type, it has it has a rock type. But it doesn't have like a strong rocker. Like, it has Costa, and then it doesn't really pressure defoggers very much at all. So,
yeah. Ironically, I'd say actually this is probably one of the weaker teams to Alolan Raticate that there has been, because the spin blocker doesn't beat Alolan Raticate, and your Hazard's Core loses to Alolan Raticate as well. So
but he's got a Girder. He's got a Girder and a defensive Caracosta. I don't know how much more you want for Alolan Raticate.
Alolan Sandslash.
Alolan Sandslash.
Both. Yeah, Alolan Sandslash spins on the... Yeah, I meant Alolan Sandslash, because Alolan Sandslash beats the Hazard's Core and then beats the spin blocker as well, so...
Yeah, that is true. Like
You know, the,
that's partially why Silvally Ghost like really falling off because not being able to stop Lone
unless he has
Sandslash. Anyway, we should
if he
probably
has flamethrower, he doesn't have shot. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah we should probably get into some
Yeah.
of that some of the game which was mostly kind of vanilla. Pill shows he was defog Lurantis, whereas I believe Passions was Rest Talk and it was defog Swanna.
Aromatherapy.
Or no, aromatherapy, right? Oh no, it was Defog Laurentiis on that team too. Damn, Shuton just 3 of. I'm sorry, that was Smash. Rexus really early reveals Stone Edge defensive Caracosta to just kill Pills' Pom Pom, and I thought that was like a really big part of the game because already like Calmine Pom Pom, Rex's check was defensive Caracosta, which is obviously like kind of easy to chip, not super reliable. Plus one hidden power did 60%. Like Pom Pom should have been really good in this matchup, and it just did nothing.
He got sacked basically.
Yeah,
it was a bit of play. I think it was played. I think this entire game just reeked sort of impatience on Pill's part. I don't.
Yeah.
I think he could have done a lot more with his offensive threats, such as the Regice, I guess, based in the thing, but Primate in particular, he should have been like planning maybe for a close combat sweep at the end.
Mm-hmm. But I also,
especially his Oricorio Pom Pom, though, that was the key to this game for him. Because I'm pretty sure at full it tanks whatever other than Raticate has to throw at it.
Yeah, Pom Pom.
It just outspeeds and kills everything.
Pom Pom not just super important though. Pills is running a team that like isn't that weak to Girder, but with Pom Pom dying really early, Girder immediately becomes a massive threat because it's going to 1v1 Mudsdale. Alolan Raichu's already fairly weakened before you take into account it's a team with spikes. The Rantis definitely going to get chipped because it wants to come in and remove. Girder's also just going to be a good red ice check. Rexus also revealed he was Toxic Girder as opposed to Bulk Up, which is just really interesting. I know we've seen some like sub-toxic Girder as like Oricorio and like just to lure Oricorios and stuff. So it's just really weird that he actually had the toxic Girder, but then never even like needed it to lure Oricorio because it just died early. But either way, like the game was literally just won by Healing Wish plus Girder because Pills sacked his like best check to it.
And not only that, it was his win con as well. If you're taking it into context of the game, like Pom Pom was the win con, and he just sort of sacked it. So it's like, there's not much really you can do at that point.
No, it was a very vanilla game, just kind of trading back and forth, a little bit of Healing Wish, bada bing, bada boom.
I just think, Pills didn't really play this one well. Like it's a bit more of a less clean game. Like people have bad games, but I think this is one that's particularly bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Next game though, we have TJ versus Shane Ghoul. Shane brings some fun little normal spam with a Golurk, like a really just fun looking offense team that I wish I built. And TJ's got more TJ teams. Very, very standard offensive, just a little balanced, but like on the offensive side team with top threats like Lilligant and Frostlass, and just like kind of your basic. Like this is exactly what I think of when I think of a TJ team now.
I think this is just representative of the meta currently. I think you have Spikes, Primate, and Lilligant, and I think that's the key core now, which is sort of defining PU at the moment. So yeah, I'm not surprised that TJ brought it. It does have a few weaknesses, like I don't particularly like his rock resist also being the Regirock.
Because like Primate's not really switching into like he's not that weak to rock types, but it's enough to be annoying. Like Aggron can come in and at least trade versus Skuntank, although you're going to get Aftermath, versus Frostlass, or you're going to get Wisped, versus Regirock, although you're going to get Earthquaked. Really?
Yeah, I mean,
it's standard enough to have checks to everything, so it's not
the real kicker though is the ice resist. So like Aurorus, Scarf Aurorus does a number. If a team has a primary check, obviously it will be doing numbers, and most teams do. So, that's a hard matchup for TJ.
Yeah, I see a lot of teams of this style kind of rely on Regirock to be the ice resist, which is not always
No
going to
point.
work out.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, though,
The,
it ended up being the ice and then the flying resist that ended up kind of giving TJ trouble. We'll get into the game. Also, it was really funny. I was just skimming through the game real quick to remind myself, and I saw Chill Shadow made the comment, Shane recycling black white NU teams, which he totally. This is totally a black white NU team.
yeah. Ironically, this was built by Teddy. This is a team sort of built by Teddy. So Teddy never played black white because I was quite well. I knew a lot of the people that played black white back when it was a thing. So Ted did not play black white, but it does look like a black white NU team. Like no denying that.
Yeah. Really early on, I think it's one of those really funny things. TJ ice beams Shane's Electros turn 1, gets the freeze, and that's like, well, that's super useful. But then he ice beams again, I guess kind of thinking it's going to stay frozen, and takes a huge flamethrower. And it's almost the kind of thing where I feel like if he didn't get the freeze, he would have done something different that would have been better. You ever see those kinds of things where like it's like they're frozen, you're like, well, I wouldn't have risked this, but now I will, and then and then they unfreeze first turn, you're like, damn it.
No, I think it was a stupid play turn on, just ice beaming the Electros in the first place.
Yeah,
like to get punished.
It was weird because that was a free punish, but at the same time, like these kinds of offensive teams, Electros is also annoying because you're never going to be able to switch into it. But I do feel like TJ could have just taken the chance to get 2 spikes up. Instead, though, he got 1 spike and like 40% chip on the Electros. That's not terrible overall.
Yeah, it wouldn't be terrible if he didn't freeze, but he froze it, so he got quite lucky to get all of that damage and chip and whatever.
It was an extra 20%. Like I don't know how big that was.
Yeah, quite soon after actually. I was looking through this replay yesterday with Specs, and we were analysing it a little bit, and we saw the situation where the Lilligant gets in, so Primate U-turns on the Golurk.
TJ's Primate U-turns on Shane Ghoul's Golurk, and TJ switches in Lilligant.
Yeah, this is a weird scenario because TJ is assuming, I guess, that Dodrio is coming in hard, right? Or like something is coming in hard to check Lilligant. So he wants to click Z Hyperbeam to bop the Lilligant, but are you going to Z Hyperbeam a Golurk when he could just potentially just sack it? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So TJ makes the mid-ground play, predicting the Dodrio to come in, of clicking
Giga Drain as Shane actually decides, let's just fodder Electros.
Yep. So the thing that we analysed here is that if TJ quiver danced on
the game was over.
Electros switch and it quiver danced again.
Yeah, the game was over. I totally agree.
The game was finished.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's potentially a choke. I doubt it is. I told when me and Specs were talking, I say you can't really count it as a choke because he wasn't expecting Shane to make that play in the first place. But in my opinion, the play that puts more pressure on Shane is the quiver dance play, because if Shane, for example, does go hard Dodrio on the Brave Bird, on the Giga Drain, sorry, instead of the quiver dance, and does takes no damage, you get the impetus again by basically being allowed a free switching into your pom pom or into the Regirock, whatever you can decide, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, you're still putting on much more pressure. So in my opinion, quiver dance was the more pressuring play, and if he had made the quiver dance play in the first place, I'm certain that he would have quiver danced again on the Electros and won the game straight up that way.
I don't disagree with anything you said. I think quiver dance would have straight up been the better play, because in this kind of really like 2 very aggressive teams, with 2 like both having big threats against each other, I think just making the mid-ground Giga Drain play, all you get is the foddered eel. I don't think that was enough. I think TJ needed to get more. It's not a massive choke. It's definitely not this equals auto loss. It's not huge. I just think it's a bit subpar, and not like this, not the strongest he could have played. Because also, what is like? Let's say you get it wrong and Golurk stays into attack. I think the best he's likely to do is just going to confuse you with Dynamic Punch. That's scary, but you can definitely risk hitting through confusion. Maybe you don't, I don't know. But I also don't really see... Shane definitely could have stayed in, because Golurk isn't that he does not need Golurk. But even so, I definitely think Quiver just to put on that offensive pressure. But anyway, Shane fodders the eel and then goes Dodrio to force Lilligant out, makes a nice double back to Golurk, and you can see Shane's kind of doing a bit more offensive play. Doubles into Golurk on TJ's Regirock, gets a little chip, gets some Stealth Rock, and then TJ just has an unfortunate moment where he goes Pom Pom on the Golurk. Tries to Hurricane it. He goes Pom Pom as Golurk sets up Stealth Rock. Tries to Hurricane it, does not kill, and just Pom Pom straight up gets O-code by Stone Edge.
With a crit.
I don't know if the crit matters. I'm actually
the crit did matter. Yeah, the crit did matter.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did, unless he was fully offensive. Like unless he was
adamant.
Adamant
has like a small chance. I think I don't remember exactly the caliber. I think it's like 88 to 102, something like that with Stone Edge with Adamant.
Yeah, and I would definitely expect Jolly Golurk in this meta, although it's not possible. Max attack Adamant versus max HP Pom Pom has an 18.8% chance to KO, so that definitely sucked for TJ. Losing Pom Pom just really annoying because you're kind of playing this trade for trade like this mon for mon trading offensive game, and you just like completely lost the trade that you should have had, and I feel like that's where it kind of went downhill for TJ. There's still more of the game, like enough to analyze, like stuff got played. It wasn't just over after that. But that really sucked.
Yeah, I mean, there's big things like when you're playing normal spam and you can identify your one check for one of the normal threats and you have another check for the other one, then it's usually up to you to make the plays accordingly so that you put the least amount of pressure on your defensive court, right? So he could potentially have kept his pom-pom way healthier, not even needed to go into the goal, like not even risk the 88% chip or the 88% damage, such that Dodrio is now putting pressure back on the Regirock with Stoutland now.
Wow.
So he's basically putting on the pressure now all on Regirock to beat that offensive core. And the result is that because he went into Pom-Pom in the first place, instead of, say, going hard Lilligant or, getting the momentum for Lilligant and just clicking the buttons for it, the punishment for that is basically, like, Dodrio just straight up wins. Like, because Rotom is in the pack, it can just sort of pivot around and just do shit to his team. Like,
to be fair, I don't think Dodrio straight up wins. That required TJ to then go on and like lose the Skunk and the Regirock, so Dodrio cleaned. But yeah, like there were just too many threats, and I don't think TJ like it was very hard to have enough ways to play around play around Shane Ghoul's threats after that, and like it would have been an extremely difficult and hard fought comeback, and TJ did not pull out anything that major, nothing like that. Moving through the game after that died, Skunk comes in, and then Rotom comes in, just gets a kill with Sub-Zero Slammer, so TJ loses the Skuntank, and then he immediately goes Regirock on the Rotom instead of like his Scarf Primeape or something. And this was just really weird because that immediately lost the game. Rotom just hit a Blizzard. Regirock is way too low, and Scarf Dodrio instantly wins because TJ's only got a Lilligant and a Primeape left. Like, what are you gonna do? Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, this game was just sort of, I guess you could just call it micro chokes, like constant micro chokes where you can't really say, oh, this lost him the game, this one play. You can't really say that about many of TJ's plays, but they're all, I guess you just say misplays or like maybe just lack of efficiency when playing. Like, if he had made more offensive pressuring plays, forced more 50-50s, especially when the offensive pressure is on his side, in that case, because if you're TJ and you close combat the Rotom Frost and the Rotom Frost dies, that's very good for you. But if you close combat the Messenger Spirit, that's not necessarily bad for you either.
Yeah, so you need to just play godlike. That's...
Yeah, he basically just didn't give himself a chance to win. Like,
yeah, although I will say, like, the pom-pom Golurk interaction definitely sucked, because, like, I don't think he should have gone
Wait.
Pom Pom. I think going Lilligant was the better play because Pom Pom is the better late game win con than Lilligant because there's a Scarf Dodrio. Like going Pom Pom was wrong, but it also like should have been able to handle Golok. Although at the same time, it's definitely going to end up like in Rock's range. So
Yeah.
like honestly, like
100%
he should. Yeah. So actually, Pom Pom wasn't even staying around late game. So yeah, he just never should have gone.
Yeah,
Like Lilligant was definitely the switch in just because Pom Pom can actually win late games. Scarf Dodrio doesn't revenge it very well. It's faster than Stoutland. It's faster than Rotom. It probably is HP fighting, but if it can't hit Rotom, maybe that's why. But even then, you want to be able to chip Rotom. Like, I don't know. And then the Mesprit's probably not Scarf because it's Scarf Dodrio, so Pom Pom's fast. And, like,
yeah.
Pom Pom
I don't think the Mesprit
was the win con. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. I think from a test game, from memory, I think it specs Mesprit. I think. It's either specs or Colbert Carmine.
Yeah, I would expect one of those, like one of the wall breaking sets. I don't know. Just a little unfortunate, a little weird. Just a combo of some stuff. I think we can move on to. Unless there was more?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Ryza versus. Oh, did you have more? Sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that that's the sort of like typical Shane team that he's been bringing for the or for the majority of the tour so far.
Mhm.
Because so far I've been saying now his team is out, I think. But yeah, I think they did a really good job passing Shane teams.
Let me check. I actually thought he was still in. Nope, never mind. He's not in. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, TJ's typical team is like 5S ranks. Shane's typical team is like slightly substandard, but pretty solid looking offense. So yeah.
Yeah.
I like what he brought. Shane put in some work this tour.
Yeah, I think he's 4-1 overall.
Yeah,
quite good.
4-1 overall. I did have player records. There's not too much to go over until finals are done because like the few people with the best records are still in. But yeah, he ended very respectable 4-1.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so Ryza versus LST. LST brought this another normal spam team with Stoutland Dodrio, but a much more like fat balanced one. And then the Ryza team is the one I really want to talk about because he brought my team, or a team that is identical in all 6 Mons, to the team I brought Game 3 of Circuit Finals versus Katut, where I had that like garbage matchup versus Sun. He's changed some sets though. It's Flyinium Swanna instead of my Z Raindance Swanna. And well, I wrote down what he changed.
Triss banded Alola Slash, if I recall correctly, something like that.
Someone said it was banded Alola Slash. I don't know the item, but it definitely wasn't Scarf Alola Slash, which is what it was on my team. Yeah, my team was also Rocky Helmet Skuntank, and I think this one wasn't. I don't remember what it was though. Yeah, no, it was Lum Skuntank on Ryza's team, Rocky Helmet on mine. But I never passed this team to Ryza. I don't think I posted around, so I'm not sure where he got it. It's just very weird. Like,
yeah, because this team isn't even like a common, like you wouldn't put these 6 Mons together. Like,
yeah, like it's specific enough. I feel like it had to come from looking at my games or something, but maybe it just coincidentally didn't. I don't know. I never asked him. I probably should have. Point is, I was just very shook. I'm like, wait, what? Why does he have the same Mon? That's so weird. I do think it's a pretty solid setup. Like, it lost the matchup because fucking, Sun isn't really something you prep for, but I do think overall this team pretty nice. Although he also doesn't have the Z Raindance Swanna, which is like the whole conceit of the team is sweeping with this like super cool anti-meta offensive threat that he's just not running. He doesn't really have a sweeper. Like
yeah, I guess his plan is to break with Swanna and Lurantis, and I guess Alola Slash, considering it may or may not be Triss banded, and then clean with Primate.
Yeah, but Primate's like a weird Mon to sweep because there's a lot of birds, faster Scarfers, ghosts, all those things. I don't know, very odd.
Yeah.
But I don't hate the matchup, and I think Ryza overall did end up playing this fine and definitely got like a really good break very early on. Very early on, LST tries to burn the Skuntank and gets caught by the Lum, so Frostlass takes huge damage chipping the Skuntank. And then he gets a big crit on the AV Lantern to like significantly chip it down. Like Ryza just started real nice looking. and then dodges a
Yeah.
hurricane to win what would have been a pretty much trade situation versus the Oricorio Pom Pom. It would have killed Lurantis and then gotten revenge killed, and instead Lurantis dodges Hurricane and then gets the switch out, but I don't think it does much later on. But yeah, like that whole start just really sucked for LST. Getting lured by Lum is something, but like the crit to put Lantern a lot lower than it would have been, and then just dodging a Hurricane, it was just a really rough start in a close-up matchup, and I don't know. Oh, never mind. Laurentis got to rest, but then it only pulled a rest out of Sleep Talk and died to Dodrio. So yeah, not much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that actually put a lot of pressure on LSD's team. To be honest, I think he did win if that Hurricane hit, because if you imagine when you have a full health Dodrio, you can quite easily sweep the team without flying resist, a real flying resist. Given that his flying resist at that point was an offensive sand slash, so there's more than enough opportunities to come in and click Brave Bird and Frustration. You could even just click Frustration if you really wanted, depending on how much you wanted to do.
Yeah, I think Frustration was safe because he got the Z Hurricane on the Alolan Sand Slash doing 55 really early, so the Alolan Sand Slash wasn't switching into any Frustrations. So that could have been huge, but just a very hard situation early on. And never quite managed to come back for that. Dodrio took a lot of percent, like needing to kill a full health Lurantis with Brave Bird and then burn Skuntank Pursuit. And then I do think LST did make a bit of a choke, going for Frustration with Stoutland to kill the 4% Skuntank and just being forced to take all that Aftermath and stuff. I feel like maybe if you tried to play a full health Stoutland a little bit, then, kept it out of Swanna range, and I don't know, it probably wasn't going anywhere. That was like the one thing I could really see that maybe it was a fuck up, but really, like, I don't know what he could have done.
He was basically in an armbar at that point anyway, so I don't think, regardless of how he played the Stoutland, I think he would have just ended up getting shit on by the Primate regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think really that's a choke given his scenario, really.
It was a small thing. I don't think it really came into play. That was the only play I was really like, yeah, that was bad. He tried to make a prediction that got wrong, but like he kind of had to do something like that, where he earthquaked his Swanna, but it was pretty much done at that point. I wish like a clean game would have ended up being really close. I wish we could have seen that, and I don't think it was hugely like this wasn't a ton of hacks, but just really poorly placed to the point where I don't know what LST could have done to come back. Because Dodrio being the win con, and then Pom Pom needing to win a trade, and when you remove both of those, like I don't know what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, poorly placed is like the perfect characteristic. I think it was just a bad time to get hacked, and it just happened. That's it. That's the repercussions of being hacked. Forced the Dodrio, the win con, to take so much damage from Brave Bird and what have you. So. It was just poorly timed, poorly placed, and it's like a stealth hacks. We'll call it a stealth hacks.
Sure, okay, stealth hacks, fine. The next game, Passion versus Tasker, very weird game in my opinion. I don't think Tasker played all that well, to be completely honest. I hate to gang up on him because he's ending the. Oh, because no, his team is still in playoffs, but he's not starting. He's got a 1-6 record. But yeah, I really just I don't know. They both Tasker and Passion brought like similar looking Lilligant balances. Like Lilligant, you got a fat ground type, you got a fat rocker, you got a normal type that's supposed to break down teams, you got a spinner, and then you have a one last flex slot with Tasker having Scarf Primate. And Passion having a Calm Mind Z-Move Mesprit. Overall, Passion's team actually pretty slow, but Tasker's team also, outside of Primate, quite slow, so couldn't really like abuse it that much. That was pretty much all I had at matchup.
I'd say probably the most notable thing about Task's team is that he doesn't have a fighting resist. Like, his fighting resist is Quagsire. So that's potentially abusable if you look at it from the Hitmonchan standpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's a problem it's a problem for looking at like the team in general, but I think specifically in this matchup, Quagsire is an effective enough Hitmonchan counter that like you have to keep the Quagsire alive. That's mandatory. But at the same time, you're not going to auto lose to fighting types because Hitmonchan is just too weak to break a Quagsire like pretty much ever.
Yeah, I go with that. I don't think Tasker played this badly because at the end of the game, if he had a Sleep Powder Lilligant set, he would have just ended up winning the game by Sleep Powdering the Hitmonchan and just Giga Draining it a few times.
That is true, but like specifically considering it wasn't Sleep Powder, there's a lot of weird stuff. Like we can get into it, but starting out, sorry, Tasker okay, first he gets Quagsire knocked off very early on, and I know he switching into Caracos is weird. But Quagsire looked very important in this matchup just for checking the Hitmonchan and possibly the Kangaskhan, and I don't like how it got knocked off so early. Oh yeah, but no, I would have assumed Caracos is Smash because I just realized Passion is Caracosta and Mudsdale. I don't know how I overlooked this. So Caracosta is showing itself to be defensive knockoff instead of Stealth Rock. Or instead of Shell Smash means that it's like not Rock's Mudsdale. And then Passion reveals more weirdness, switching Kangaskhan into Lilligant as his Lilligant check because it's like fat lefties, but it still took 33 from Giga Drain, which means that Passion's Lilligant checks are Fat Kanga and AV Hitmonchan, and like who knows? Like that's not great for Lilligant checking. Whereas I would have at least expected some fake out pressure to be able to come in from Kangaskhan.
Yeah, I'd say the big thing about Passion's team, like just as key as Tasker's team having Quagsire as the fighting check, Passion's team doesn't have any speed control whatsoever. His closest one is Lilligant.
Yeah, I didn't hate it when it looked like offensive Kanga, but with it being fat lure Kanga, really weird.
Yeah, it's a weird combination. This is one of the times where you have to ask, is it worth the lure Kanga, especially versus Tasker? It ends up giving some dividends, given that it could do stuff that Fat Kanga.
It does work.
Yeah, but I mean, in the scenario, I don't think I'd prefer it over the standard offensive Kanga. But yeah, it just ended up if Tasker brought a more offensive team, he could have potentially opened that hole up. But because he brought such a slow team anyway, like a Regirock or Quagsire type of core, he couldn't really open up the weaknesses. To be fair.
Yeah. Tasker also switched Regirock directly into the Fat Kangaskhan because it was Drain Punch. You can do that because it's Drain Punch, but still, he lets it get toxic. He lets it get he got to get just bodied by Mudsdale's Earthquake after, just loses Regirock very early. Not too bad considering it's a Fat Kangaskhan, but I feel like Tasker didn't have much of a plan for actually handling this. This is a part that I felt like he kind of misplayed, but I don't even know that he misplayed because he doesn't have a lot to handle these Mons. I'm not seeing another great plan from him. There's not much else to do, but at the same time, it does kind of suck that very early on, Regirock goes down and he doesn't really have any offensive momentum or anything to show for it, because his team wasn't that scary to Passions. He goes Lilligant, he Giga Drains the Hitmonchan, he's forced out. Hitmonchan gets some health back with Drain Punch. Good pressure, very well. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it wasn't even Tasker misplaying, because I don't know what pressure he had. When you have a free kill and there's a toxic Mudsdale out, and all you can do is go Lilligant and immediately get forced out, that says a lot about how much you can actually do in this game, because that's pretty bad.
Yeah, it just sort of sucked for him. Potentially he could have won the game if the Lilligant was a different set. As I said before, if it was Sleep plus the Hyper Beam, or Sleep plus anything, to be honest. Sleep in general, he probably could have 1v1 the Hitmonchan and therefore won the game just off of that. But yeah, it's just a tough scenario for him to be in, especially because he hasn't really he hasn't misplayed too much this tour either. Like going off of memory, he's brought some off styles of teams, and then when he's tried to go back to what he's usually good with, he loses the game anyway. So it's like you can't really catch a break this tour, and not surprised that he's not starting in semi-finals, but I kind of wanted him to have this sort of vengeance that like in a semi-final final type scenario, because at that point, like, your record doesn't matter if you reach the semi-finals or the finals. It's about how you do in the semi-finals and finals, to be honest.
Yeah, that's true, but at the same time, definitely been struggling. As the game progressed, Tasker revenge kills the Kangaskhan with banded superpower from Stoutland, but gives Passion's Calm Mind Mesprit basically a free chance to set up. It ended up being Sub-Calm Mind with Gigavolt Havoc, Z Thunderbolt. Lets Passion eliminate Tasker's Alolan Sandslash, which means now Passion's Lilligant also becomes a scary threat. Then Passion goes back to Stoutland, Tasker goes back to Stoutland, tries to risk a speed tie to maybe get back in the game, just loses the speed tie and loses his Stoutland for nothing. At this point, I think Passion kind of just won, but that definitely sucked, especially when he just revenge killed the Mesprit for free right after with Primeape. And like there was just really nothing to do. Like you said, Sleep Powder Lilligant maybe could have done something, but Sleep Powder Lilligant still needs to get a little lucky versus Hitmonchan.
Yeah, it needs the sleep turns. It also needs to hit Sleep Powder in the first place.
Yeah, it needs to hit Sleep Powder and get the sleep. It doesn't need crazy good sleep turns, because like if you're Sleep Powder, you're still probably running an offensive Z move. So you can, but you need to hit Sleep Powder, and then you need them to not get a first turn wake, which is in Lilligant's favor, but not like that crazy much, I don't think. Because that's a 75 and then a 33. No, that's a 75% chance and then a 66% chance, and you have to get both. I'm not doing the math on that. But yeah, there's just not a lot of this. There wasn't a lot for Tasker to do, and it's so weird to just have like such a failing matchup against Passion's team, because Passion's team was not that scary,
All good.
Like, yeah, no, it wasn't. It was very reliant on Lilligant to win, very slow. It has like multiple kind of redundant wall breakers. Like you have the fat subtoxic Kangaskhan, but then you also have banned Mudsdale to lure things, and then you also have Sub-Calm Mind Z Thunderbolt Mesprit. Like you don't really need all that. I don't know where it was going, but it didn't need to go anywhere because I don't know what Tasker was gonna do.
Yeah, all credit to Passion. Like Passion played the matchup pretty well. Like pretty much as well as you could have hoped for it, to be honest. Like I don't think you could have asked for much more, given his team.
I mean, there were like he superpowered the Mesprit as a combine, and then he sacked Stoutland, and But yeah, I agree that there wasn't actually a lot he could do. So I retract. I don't think Tasker played that badly. It just I don't like either team, but Passion definitely had more places to go in this game, and I don't. 100%. Tasker didn't play like exceptional to pull out anyone. He just kind of like played average and never pulled himself out of the hole.
Yeah, he had a matchup deficit, and he just never did anything to
overcome it. Yeah. So now that we've been taking way too long to talk about this game, let's skip over the next one really fast. We have Zaya versus Drud. Zaya playing for the Magnets, who do have Sam I Am and Robert Alphonse as starters, but the Magnets were already...
You didn't think me this replay?
Yes, I did. Magnets were already... Yes, I did. It's in there, and because this is the mono normal game.
Oh, wait, what?
Okay, so Zaya is playing for a team that already made playoffs. They subbed out Sam I Am and Robert Alphonse and put in Zaya. I don't know why. Maybe they're just like, here, have fun. Maybe Sam and Robert Alphonse were busy. They didn't need Zaya to win. Zaya just brought mono normal. Excuse me. I forgot my water, unfortunately, so I'm kind of screwed for this podcast. Zaya brings mono normal, completely and utterly destroyed by Scarf Primeape, assuming the other team has defogged, because Zaya does have Sticky Web Smeargle, but still, like, Primeape bodies this, Girder bodies this. Like, there is no actual... incentive to use mono normal in a serious game, and Drud just doesn't play like an idiot and wins. Drud actually gets kind of lucky. He brings sub-toxic special Dark Pulse Skuntank, which I actually think is a very interesting set. I don't hate it by any means. It's a cool lure. But he gets some nice flinches that definitely give it some like strong power. It like kills the Smeargle, it kills the Drampa because of flinches, it then toxics the Stoutland and then gets Aftermath on it, so the Stoutland was left at 14. Like Skuntank killed like almost 3 Mons on its own. But like that didn't even matter because Drud kind of just had easy free wins because it was mono normal. He also brought a Sash Golurk. That I really don't get because what the fuck is Oko and Golurk if you're running a Resist Berry? I don't know. Sash Golurk I really do not understand whatsoever. But other than that, I thought the Skuntank was cool. He didn't play like an idiot, and he beat just a dumb mono normal team because, like I said, I think some teams are just like, we can put in whatever. We don't need the win, so we don't care about this game, which really sucks. Would rather see, fun PU, but we didn't get that. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna vent for a little bit. I'm just gonna say, if you want to bring a meme, at least make the meme good. Like, at least make it worth people's time to watch. Like, bring Pikachu or something. Don't bring mono normal. Don't bring mono normal because
not fun. No, you can keep venting. I was just tossing in a not fun.
Oh.
Or was that it? Was that your whole vent?
No. No, it's definitely not my whole vent. Yeah, if you have a team that just gets boned to the very definition of bone by a Primeape, then potentially that team is probably not worth it, even if it's mono normal. So at the very least, bring a good monotype like mono rock or something. You know what I mean? Something that can resist all of the things that, well, have like decent matchups versus the common things. I don't want to see things that are like 6-0'd by the most common thing. At least try to make it interesting. Like bring an Electrode or like Electrode plus Pikachu.
Electrode is way too legit. Hello, like if you're bringing screens, which is not an illegitimate playstyle, then Electrode's legit. So I don't think that's fair. But anyway, yeah, like I agree. I agree with your rant. This was a waste of time, and I hate seeing people just completely like not care in team tours. Mono normal like legit came kind of close, I guess, because Drud's team was still a little silly. I like Drud's team. Honestly, I gave Drud's team too much credit because A, I thought the Skuntank set was really cool, and B, he's facing mono normal. Whatever he brings is gonna look good. But Drud's team is really fucking weird too. It's got like a Simisage for no reason. It's pretty slow unless it was like Scarf Simisage, I guess. I like it's got a Sash Golurk for no reason. I don't know what the hell that was, but it's mono normal, so I don't even care. Like Drud can take a win with that garbage, and I'm like, sure, you fought mono normal. I'm glad that you won. Just why?
Just in general, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird. It's just not good to see like mono normal. Like, yeah, sure. Like, I don't hate the idea of bringing a monotype team. Like, I'm not against that or anything.
But it's not even good mono normal, Not that mono normal can get that good, but like. I feel like this was very clearly just I'm gonna slap some stuff on because like if he didn't even have any Primeape checks. He didn't even have a Scarfer. It was Bandodrio. Scarf Primeape literally just cleaned. Like that's the crazy bit. Like if it was Scarf Dodrio, I would respect his team so much more because at least I was like, okay, maybe he's like at least trying to handle the Primeape or whatever. But no Choppleberries either. No Choppleberries. Here, I'm going to go on Smog Tours. I'm just going to do /DS normal type PU and ZU and just see what else he could have used to try to handle bad matchups.
Yeah, I guess like Persian, potentially with like Fake Out plus Feign. That could be a thing that you can try.
That's not a great Primeape check. I think there should have been Choppleberries. I think maybe like... I guess Kecleon. Kecleon's got the Shadow Sneak, so that's at least harder to revenge kill. You could run like Choppleberry Silvally. That's like fat enough to take a hit with and just double edge or explode. like explode on a Golurk. You can even bring a Ditto to try to stop some setup sweepers, because like a lot of setup sweepers just won if they didn't lose to Kangaskhan Fake Out Sucker, because I'm assuming webs are off because you're not stopping defog. I don't know. Let's move on. There's nothing here. This is dumb.
I agree.
Mel versus Lycans. Do you know who built Lycans' team? You normally do, because he's on the Dibs Teddy team.
Yeah, it looks like a Dibs team because it has a Frogadier, so that's where I assume that the team came from. And Mel's team actually looks like it's a Specs team. I've seen Specs use a similar team.
I've seen a lot of teams that look similar to that. It's very, very standard. This is what almost... in fact, I think if I go back to Smog Tours, I think I have a team that looks almost exactly like that that's Sam I Am built. I'm not entirely certain, though, but it looks very, very familiar. It's just so standard. It's literally Omastar, Lilligant, Pom-Pom, Primeape, Alola Slash, Alola, and Raichu. Aside from the Raichu's a little weird as the end slot, but that looks super, super similar to a lot of stuff that I recognize, you know?
Yeah.
I swear I recognize this team. I can't actually find it in my builder, but I know it looks just like something else I used. It's only 2 mons off from a Minior team I used. My team's old, but if you like replace the Togedemaru and then do a little workaround for, you know, needing to replace Togedemaru for Alolan Raichu, yeah, it's like the same thing.
I think it's a Specs team if I had to guess. And the Lycans team is a Dibs team because it has a Frogadier.
Yeah, I mean,
I know Dibs likes the Frogadier.
Yeah, I don't know why I asked. I just kind of forgot Frogadier would be Dibs' thing, but yeah, Frogadier just kind of like weird fun mon.
It's also quite good given that it's like faster than Primeape in every scenario. So, Scarf specifically, I should say.
Oh, is it Scarf Frogadier?
Yeah, it's Scarf. Well, you know how like in OU they run Scarf Greninja. This is Scarf Frogadier.
Well, I don't think it's like Scarf Greninja. Scarf Greninja is actually like faster than most of the meta, and it'll outspeed setup sweepers. Frogadier's not that. It's just like another Scarfer, but it doesn't sound that bad on paper. Like super frail, yeah, but stab U-turns, Scarf Water types. You can revenge kill Lilligant. You're faster than Primeape. I didn't think about it until right now when you said it was Scarf, but it actually sounds like pretty all right. Zero bulk isn't good, but it's not like Primeape is bulk. Scarf Primeape or Scarf Manectric or that actually sounds pretty good. But Lycan, that's not the only tech Lycan's had. Very early, Lycan's gets into Jinx. He subs up on Toxic, Spadefalo, and Sandslash. It's a lefties sub Jinx, and then he lovely kisses Mel switching out into Jinx, and then Mel switches back into Alolan Sandslash, thinking it walls, and then Lycans just OHKOs that with Focus Blast. So now that the whole set's revealed, it's lefties Jinx, sub lovely kiss, Ice Beam, Focus Blast, and immediately just puts Mel on the huge back foot. You got your Lilligant slept, you got the Sandslash OHKO'd, and the Jinx is at full health behind a sub, and it's like turn 6, and all you have to show for it is rocks. Like, good lord, what a crazy strong start.
Yeah, this is this entire scenario is why I think people underrate Jinx so heavily at the moment.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing, I don't know where it's come from, but I think a lot of people have been hating on Jinx recently. I don't know why. I don't know how.
Because people are hating on the mons that nobody uses, and I understand to an extent. You know, the things like the Jinxes and the Pincers and the what else does no one use that's kind of high up that people hate on? I can't think of it. Oh yeah, Swanna.
Not Scyther.
Swanna doesn't get a lot of use. I think people have hated on that a bit. I know I do it routinely to Sensu because nobody uses Sensu, but it really is good. But yeah, like this is classic. I've been saying, you know, Jinx needed to start running Focus Blast because very early on in Exhibition, which was like over a month ago, there was like that little explosion of Jinxes, but none of them could hit Sandslash, and we're like, they should really be running Focus Blast. And now here we are, like 6 weeks later, and Jinx just putting absolute work in. Sub Focus Blast Jinx, just completely abusing the Spadefalo and Sandslash, because all it's got to hit you is Icicle Crash. It's not doing enough.
Yeah, I mean,
like good shit.
The situation is with I think you remember that team that we brought week 2 or something. You remember the triple ice team with Jinx and Scarfalone and Sandslash and Behemoth and stuff. Yeah, that was based on a similar concept of what Dibs built, I think. So we had Lovely Kiss 3 attacks, so we had Psychic instead.
Because Psychic instead of Sub.
So the reason for that was because we didn't have fast fighting checks. But if you look immediately after the Jinx, there's a Mesprit and a Pom-Pom. So Dibs immediately thought, okay, I don't really need to worry too much about Gerda or fighting types in general. I have good enough matchup versus those, so I can afford to use Substitute over Psychic in that scenario.
Yeah, I don't even think like this wasn't really on Mel. Mel just like was not ready for this at all, and the game kind of went out of control. Then Lycans decided to spam Sub. Like Mel went to Primeape to Stone Edge to Revenge Kill, and Lycans decided to spam Sub to guess PP stall it, because even when Mel was missing, Lycans like wasn't going for attacks. He was just like he just hit Sub over and over. Finally used Ice Beam and then switched out, but has got his Jinx chipped into like not dead to rocks, but to the point where it can't even sub up after rocks. Like I don't know, it was really weird. Like I assume it was for PP stalling, but why? I guess if Mel misses enough, then you can actually keep your sub, but that's a weirdly risky thing to do. It didn't really matter, just a really weird sequence. Anyway, after that, Lycans just kind of plays pretty solid and is fine. Mel tries to Combine up with Pom-Pom, but Lycans was pretty safe versus the Pom-Pom. Ends up like getting a roll, doing 53, then 55 with Ice Beam to take care of it with Jinx. And Mel's like, well, that's one win con down. And then Mel gets in a Alolan Raichu and is way too hard checked by Scarf Frogadier, just dies to 2 U-turns. Like, well, that's another win con down. And then Omastar can't set up on a throw, so that's another win con down. And oh, your Lilligant's still sleeping? Well, that's another win con down. Like,
game's over.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot Mel could do. It just very strong 5-0 from Lycans because that ridiculously good start. Like, Lycans had the tech, and he had the matchup for the tech to perform. And I think it was good tech, but this was also, like, absolute 100% best case scenario Lycans could have ever run into. You know?
Yeah. I mean, usually you'll see a lot of solid players, people who know the tier especially well, will be able to outstart most other people. So like people who are less experienced. And I feel like this is a sort of similar scenario. Dibs will give you the anti-meta techs. Dibs and Teddy will make sure that you're properly prepared with those, so that meta matchups aren't really too big of a deal in that sense. Because you can see like he has the sub Lovely Kiss Jinx, and the Choice Banded Throw. They basically had what we have as like a meta with Frostlass and Mesprit stuff being the main fighting resist. They have all of that sorted out. So now it becomes a question of, okay, now get a good start, use these techs to get yourself in a good position, and then just play it out. Because another thing good players tend to have is the ability to end the game well. Like they don't choke, they just finish the game.
Yeah, I think this would have been a pretty hard game to choke, but yeah, Lycans just played the end game like perfectly solidly, and
no risks.
Yeah, good stuff to him, and good stuff to like Dibs and Teddy. So I'm sad to see them go out because I think Dibs actually just did crazy building work this tour. I actually have to play him this next round. He's my opponent for seeded, and not looking super forward to that because I think Dibs has been scary.
Did you see Dibs' team last round?
For seeded, I did not watch his set versus J-Mash. I better go scout him. Thanks for reminding me. I need to scout and prep super hard now.
Make sure.
Just kidding. I don't have time.
Make sure you watch the game. Make sure you watch the game, game 2, because that shit is hilarious. I have never ever seen a Venonat do as much work than I have in that set.
A Venonat. Oh my god. Game 2 is the one he lost though. According to this win post, he went win, loss, win. Oh, wow, he brought the crazy... Okay, he brought Venonat, he brought Quilladin, he brought Alolan Golem, he brought a Gourgeist, he brought a Pawniard, he brought a Stunfisk.
Game 1 team.
Oh, wow, he brought all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, he brought... his teams are lit. I think that comes from him taking Pokemon a bit more on the back burner and just being a builder for the most part. So he's just trying to have fun. I mean, who can blame him? If you're bringing teams like that, win or lose, you're winning all the time.
All right. So that was exhibition. That's all the games. This was only 7 games, but there was an activity. There was an activity call. So Kushalos versus 49. Kushalos just got activity, so nothing there. So we got 2 things left to do. It's been an hour. So first, we got next week at exhibition. We got finally the good players back in. Magnets were playing Zaya and Exeline and whoever, but now they're starting Sam I Am and Robert Alphonse again. And Victory Road Elites were playing, I don't remember who, but not Katut and Ziri. They were both subbed out. They've only played 4 games each. They just subbed out real early, but they both have good records, so I don't know. But they're back in. So we have Sam I Am versus HMNIP and Robert Alphonse versus Tasker. And then TJ versus Katut and Tony Flygon versus Ziri. You want to give your thoughts first?
Okay, let me just pull up I honestly blanked out for a sec. I just heard you say, you want to give your thoughts? That's basically what just happened to me right here.
Yeah, it's semis. I'll link you the thread. There it is. Semis.
I've got the thread. I've got it out.
Okay.
I've got it out. Okay. So, Sam versus Pietro. Hi, my name is Pietro, HMNIP.
Yeah, we should say he's starting instead of Tasker. Tasker 1-6 right now, not super surprising. I've never seen HMNIP play PU, but I know he has joined a few tours before, but I genuinely don't remember what he's done.
So I'd give the advantage way in favor of the Magnets. If the Fire Dogs can steal a game or both, that would be huge for them. That would be massive because both players are novices in comparison to their counterparts. Sam is being around for ages, fantastic player, really unpredictable. Same with Robert Alphonse. This tour, he's broken out of his mold, so to speak, and he's brought, rather than standard bulky stuff, which he used to bring quite often, he's gone back to the good old days.
He's brought crazy shit.
Alphonse, crazy offense, and he showed that he could win with it as well, so that's scary. It's all going to come down to if the Fire Dogs can prep, and I'm not certain that they can.
It's weird. Rexus, I think he's done very well for a new dude just getting into PU, like I said earlier. But at the same time, this team this week, neither of us liked it very much. Very weird, and I don't know. He's gonna have to pick it up. HMNIP is gonna have to pick it up. On the other side, TJ versus Katut. I don't remember how their last. I'm pretty sure they must have played before, but I don't actually recall them. I don't recall them playing. I don't recall whatever happened.
Yeah, same.
I don't know. They're both kind of staples. Katut and Ziri, both with good records right now. I think Katut's 3-1 or 4-1, and Ziri's 4-0. Hasn't Ziri gotten kind of lucky though? I think he should. Well, even if he was, he should still be 3-1. They've both been doing pretty solid, and TJ, Tony, neither has been doing all that amazing. They're fine. I think they're both about even.
TJ was doing very well. I think he was 4-0 at one point. But then
was he really?
A really bad slump. Yeah, I think he was 4-0 or 3-0 or something like that.
I
kind of just slumped.
I don't remember that at all. All right, let me see the Drakes. TJ's 4-3. Tony is 2-3-1. I don't know what that one is. Oh, the game that was the game that never got played versus Sam I Am. Yeah, the dead game. So yeah, they're both mostly even, not really doing much. Whereas on the elite side, Ziri's 4-0, Katut is 3-1. Both of them just having stronger stuff right now. So I think they're really just gonna TJ and Tony need to really pull it up because definitely on them. And then same thing on the other side. From the Magnets, Robert Alphonse 4-2, Sam I Am 3-1-1, doing pretty strong. And then you have Rexus from the Fire Dogs being 4-3, pretty even, and HMNIP not even playing any PU. So on both sides, you have your clear underdogs and your clear overdogs, and
Yeah, so I was right. TJ was 4-0 at one point, and then he lost 3 games in a row to Robert Alphonse, TCR, and then Shane.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
yeah, he should have had the most wins by now, but I guess he's lost those last 3 games. So
Well, he shouldn't. I don't know, but should have had it. Like, he lost the games, he lost the games. But yeah, we'll have to see who pulls that out. I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to not spending an hour on 7 games. But it's been a while, so I think we're going to round this up with the return. We skipped it last week. Everyone's favorite segment. That sounded so enthusiastic. It's a fun time. It's a good time. We enjoy ourselves here on Untier Talk. Yeah, it's not bad. Anyway,
100%.
Hajad's Gimmick Corner.
So in exhibition, there are some sets that I wanted to build around, but never got the red light to use because they're kind of trash, and I could never build around some of them. Like some of them, the teams just around them are just trash, even though I maintain that the set is quite decent. So yeah, the first set that I have to share is max HP, max speed, choice band, Crabominable.
Huh? Oh,
Yeah.
right. We did talk about this. I was like, wait, when did we talk about this? No, you're right.
Yeah. So basically, Crabominable now has settled in the middle of the B ranks almost, where the switch-ins are kind of defined now. So you can switch into Jettisons, your Quillfishes, your Frostlasses, and they're quite common on each team. So, it's gone down from the glory days of PUPL where it could just break every team.
Yeah.
Now,
AV was huge, and now where is it at? Nowhere.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Because
also, like, the
Aurora's also
bonds
nowhere.
it switches into have kind of gone down, though. There's not quite as much Auroras and stuff.
Yeah, I think it would come back to prominence if Auroras was a bigger threat than it currently is, but Auroras really isn't that popular at the moment, and I think it might make a resurgence sooner or later, but yeah. Choice banded Crabominable actually dunks on would have switched in on Assault Vest. So, for example...
You cut out for a sec. Hang on, Jed. You cut out for a sec, but I think what you're trying to say, it dunks on a lot of things that like would have switched into Assault Vest? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly that. And so you Oko Frostlass with the Stone Edge. You Oko Quillfish, I think, through Intimidate with Earthquake, depending on the spread, I think. You do a lot of... You just output a lot of damage. Ice Hammer is an incredible stab move, and people aren't going to be switching in a Lowland Sand Slash to the Ice Hammer out of fear of Assault Vest. So in the first place. So yeah, it's very good for getting high damage output. I believe you come close to Okoing Electros straight up, like you outspeed and just do like 80 or 90 to it.
Wow.
With the Ice Hammer as well. So yeah, it's a good tech for just getting early game damage. Yeah, especially on specific targets like Frostlass, like Mesprit as well. I think you 2 KO Mesprit and you tank the Psychic after on defensive, which is quite useful as well.
Well, I'm sure you take a Psychic, but I don't know how much you'd want to.
Yeah,
but yeah, like
max HP.
It's another one of those mons that can just do a lot of trades and do well if you predict right, which I kind of favor consistency at the moment, but I really do see the attraction there in having the opportunity to just be that scary. Because even without investment, Banded Crabominable is a terrifying mon. Just straight up, I'm scared of that.
Even without investment, and that's the key part, is because you don't need investment in your attack, you can run max HP, which means you're still a good switch into Auroras. I believe it still can't 3-hit KO you after Stealth Rock, so you're still a very viable switch in. Even though you're not as good as before with Assault Vest, you can just you can tank the hit occasionally, especially considering Auroras now it's gone sort of downhill, so you don't really need as good of an Auroras check in this meta. Like, you can just sort of say, this'll do, and I think this is a good mid ground between I want an Auroras check, but I also need something really strong and powerful. This is a good set overall.
All right, cool. Did you say you had one more, or did I misinterpret that?
Yes, I did have one
more.
Wow,
double gimmick. You sure you don't want to save it for next week's?
No, I don't want to save it for next week because there's no point. Nobody's going to use it.
Okay.
So, the last set, this set comes as the pair because they're both whack grass types, but defensive Shiftry with Giga Drain,
Right.
Synthesis, Defog, and Refresh is fantastic. It's a really good set. I mean, it beats Mudsdale, it beats Regirock, which both Stall tend to struggle with. If you can fix the Alolan Sandslash weakness on Stall, so say I was running Rain Dance, Defog, Swanna, you've got pretty much 100% hazard control.
Yeah, so the idea is for people who aren't keeping up, a lot of hazard mons, like, for stall, a lot of hazard mons can like run toxic and kind of stall you out and get hazards up, and stall really needs to keep hazards off at all times. So if you have Refresh Shiftry to beat the Regirocks and the Mudsdales, and if you have Rain Dance, Hydration, Swanna to get toxic off from Alolan Sandslashes, then the idea is you can kind of just freely like never have to worry about hazards, and then your Articunos run free, and it doesn't also the Kuno doesn't have to run defog. You know, there's not like spikes probably aren't being around, or hopefully, so you can handle like not having your auto no chipped or whatever. I notice I'm not endorsing this set. I'm just saying what it's, or this pair. I'm just saying what they're meant to do, so that people understand, so that they're not like completely confused by what the hell is he talking about. Because I believe you just said Refresh, Defensive, Defog, Shiftry. So I just want people to understand what exactly it's meant to do, and then they can clearly understand for themselves. Oh yeah, it's bad.
I mean, I'm not saying it's good, but it's definitely not useless. I mean, it's a gimmick. It's just a,
it's a gimmick. Like, not all things on Gimmick Corner have to be good, and you already gave them the good gimmick and banned Crabominable, so.
And now for part 2 of defensive whack normal grass type. And it is now. Where is the set? Hold on, I'm putting it out. Oh my god, this set is so far away.
We gotta end this podcast sometime.
Okay, so I built a team for LST, which didn't make it to the final cup. He didn't actually end up using it, but the team's called LST at Furrycon. And as a final mon, I needed something that could check Gerda and Lilligant simultaneously. And that ended up being a problem because I forgot Pom Pom existed. So if you don't like Pom Pom, you can use Spadef Shinotic with Amnesia and Toxic. It wins every time.
I mean, at least it rhymes. Spadef Shinotic, Amnesia Toxic. Kind of.
Yeah,
that's the best I can say about it. And well, it's not spoilers for people listening because the VR update will have gone up, but we are going to rank Shinotic. It's not for that set, but it is but that makes that slightly less gimmicky. Like, does it? Not really. Like, it being ranked doesn't change that, but
it's a very trash set,
okay.
If you...
Amnesia Shinotic. Well, I don't think the thing is toxic as much as specifically having Amnesia to beat Lilligant. I don't think you need toxic if you have Amnesia, right?
You need toxic to beat Lilligant.
Wait, how? But if it can't kill you and you just spam Moonblast and Strength Sap,
you need toxic to kill it.
That's so bad. What the hell?
Yeah.
How do you?
It was good.
How do you need toxic? Oh my god. Okay, Amnesia Shinotic doesn't sound like the worst thing. Like, it does have four move slot syndrome already, but like, I guess I can think of worse things.
Yeah, you only really need Moonblast and Strength Sap to beat
the majority of the things you want to beat, especially Girder.
Yeah, so if you have Gerda finished with the first 2 slots, I had 2 slots to deal with Lilligant in that sense. So I thought, okay, what's my best way of boosting Spadef or beating Lilligant? So the combination of Amnesia and Toxic meant that you would beat Lilligant in like 90% of scenarios, apart from the scenario where you like Strength Sap on a Quiver Dance. That's bad. You lose that game if that happens. But yeah, most of the time you don't lose, so it's quite fun.
Okay. And with that, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up. Good timing too, because I've been watching Frostbite the whole time. Still, with Grand Finals is gonna start in just a sec, so I get to actually turn it back on. Anyway, thank you all for listening. We appreciate any and all support that you can that you provide, even though we don't do this for a living and we don't care about the likes or anything. The fact that anyone still listens still just gives me a warm feeling at the bottom of my heart. I'm sure Hajad appreciates you too.
100%. So if you have made it this far in the video, make sure you comment in the comment section below or tag me in the PU Discord saying LST at Furrycon, and I'll give you a free Timpo.
All right, and with that, we'll talk at you guys next time. Bye.